Great. So for those of you who don't know me or haven't gotten a chance to meet me yet, I'm Michelle Gatta. I'm the Director of Admissions at Archbishop Carroll. My 3 students on tonight are all seniors and are part of my Student Ambassadors Club at Carroll, which some of them we'll talk about in a little bit. But I'm going to turn it over to JT Mcnally. He is one of the students on tonight, and take it away, JT.
Can you hear me all right?
You're good.
All right. Hi, I'm Jason McNally. I went to St. Margaret's for grade school. That's over in Narberth. Like Ms. Gaddis said, I'm a senior. I play baseball, basketball, and soccer. I'm the vice president of student council, part of the ambassador in the campus ministry, along with Thon and pro-life. So I do a lot of stuff up at Carroll, and I love it. There's always something new to be joined, and there's always new people to meet. That's a great thing about it. On my sports teams and in my clubs, that's where I've made my closest friends. It's just a great thing to be a part of. It's like a smaller community inside the Carroll community, which is great because there's always a lot of people and it can be overwhelming. But once you narrow it down to those clubs, activities, sports teams, you really kind of see where you fit in, and there's always somebody to talk to. So that's what the great thing about Carroll is. There's always somebody to talk to. And being a part of the activities and clubs is just wonderful because you learn more about the school and yourself and others. So it's good to be involved.
JT, what advice would you leave some 8th graders with tonight?
Definitely keep an open mind. There's people at Carroll come from different places, different backgrounds. It's always good to learn something new about people. It's a great place, keep working hard. It will be overwhelming at first, no matter what high school you go to, but I feel like Carroll does an amazing job of making you feel welcome, especially this year with the coronavirus. It really just helps put yourself in a place so you don't feel as overwhelmed as you would at a bigger school. That's another thing. Carroll is relatively small compared to other schools, so you're going to see the same person in the hallway, every day. So that's another great thing. But definitely keep working hard. Don't feel overwhelmed. We have a great admissions office. Ms. Gadd is part of that. So she'll help you through it, with whatever you got. Everybody's always here to help.
Awesome. Thanks, JT.
Yeah.
Sophia, go ahead. Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Soph. You're up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sophia Patricia. I'm a senior at Carroll, and I graduated from St. Annie's in Newtown Square. I am the student council president at Carroll. I'm also involved, like Ms. Gatta said, with the student ambassadors, which is like giving tours at the school, doing like shadow days. Maybe you guys saw like the virtual thing that we did, really promoting the school to prospective families and students. I'm also a part of Carroll's Community Service Corps, where we do volunteer projects. We pack up dinners for Thanksgiving. We wrap Christmas gifts around Christmas time, things like that, just to help our community out. Some activities I'm involved in include Archbishop Carroll's Theater Society, also known as ACTS. They put on a spring and fall show every year. This year they're doing something a little bit different, but I'm sure Cece could talk to you more about that. And I've been doing that since my freshman year, at least maybe one show a year. And I feel like that was a really big step into getting me used to Carroll and the people. It's a great way to meet and become friends with upperclassmen as well. So you just get a good feel for the school. So I definitely would recommend ACTS. You don't need to do you don't need to have any specific experience. It's just a fun time. And then I'm also involved with softball. I'm the softball manager. I don't play. But if you're interested in athletics, there is Mr. Quintos. He's the athletic director, he'll find a place for you in our athletics at Carroll. You can get involved in so many different ways, whether it's on the team or as a manager, stuff like that. And then I'm also part of Yearbook Committee, which I joined last year, which is pretty cool. That is also great because you get to interact with all of the students, take pictures of all the clubs and activities and stuff. So that's a great way to get to meet people as well. And I think National Honor Society too, something that you can join as a junior or a senior, which is something that looks really great for colleges too as well. So I would say my biggest piece of advice is to get involved, which I'm sure you're going to hear a lot, but also to go into Carroll like with a clean slate, and don't think that like anything, like leave what you did in grade school behind you and just like create a new image for yourself at Carroll, because chances are you're not going to know a lot of people. So make like the best first impression. Like it's totally up to you, the impression that you're going to leave on other people. So just really like, I would say focus on that. Like, how do you want other people to like see you? It's just a great chance for like a new beginning and to get involved in things that maybe you wouldn't like normally get involved in. Just like go out, don't be afraid to go outside your comfort zone, because that is the way like you're gonna meet people, and the more you do, the more like you're gonna meet like different people in those activities and find like common bonds with them and everything. I always say that it's so boring to go home at 2:25 when the bell rings, because you just go home and then you're just home. But like when you stay after, you get to hang out with your friends. That's oftentimes like the best part of my day, like getting to hang out and actually talk with my friends, because you're not really doing much of that like during the like class and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely get involved. Okay.
Thanks, Soph.
You're welcome.
Cece, what about you?
Okay, hi, I'm Cece Cherico. I'm a senior, and I graduated from St. Helena's, which is in Bluebell. So at Carroll, I'm involved with a lot of different things. So I'm also part of student council and student ambassadors, as Sophia mentioned. I'm a part of CSC, and I just got voted NHS vice president, so that was pretty fun. I also play soccer. I've played since my freshman year. And that's also a great way to get involved. Like doing a fall sport is like a great way to meet new people and kind of go out of your comfort zone and get familiar with the school. And I'm also a part of ACTS, and I'm actually part of the fall festival that we're doing. So that's more of a, people just decided to do certain songs and then we're mixing them together to make like kind of a unique performance. So pretty interesting.
COVID friendly, right, Cece?
Yeah, social distance dancing.
Awesome.
Very, very ready.
Yeah.
I'm also part of campus ministry. I just helped out with the sophomore retreat this past spring, right before COVID hit. And it was our first one. It was a really great experience and like a great way to, you know, kind of, again, go out of my comfort zone and become like a leader in sorts. And I'll be leading Kairos in January, and we can talk more about that later. So probably I just want to say like my favorite thing about Carroll, and like part of the reason I love it so much, is just like the people and the community that Carroll provides. I've become I'm becoming a huge part of this family, and I just think that all the people and teachers, sorry. I'm sorry, my brother is trying to
okay.
But I think all the people just really make the experience. Like all the teachers are always here to help you out. All the students are always ready to accept you and to make you more comfortable and help you out through your journey. So I chose Carroll probably because of that like family and the feeling that like Carroll could be a home to me. I never felt more comfortable in any other school, and that's part of the reason I chose it. And some advice I would give to the 8th graders is, I have 2 pieces. So one is that you really have to decide which school is going to help you grow the most, because that's where you know you'll succeed. If you think that you are just going to stay the same person, it's probably not for the best, because like as you get older, you have to like, you know, have new experiences and learn from everyone else. And so just pick the place that you think it'll help you grow the most, but also pick the place that most comfortable, and like you think that the community that surrounds you will be a good one.
Awesome. Great advice, guys. Thanks. So before I go into, I guess, the admissions piece of this, because at the end of the day, that's why we are here, and the academic portion too, I do want to let any family that's on tonight know that if you do have any specific questions that you would like to ask, to please drop them. If you hover over the bottom of your screen, there should be a Q&A box. Or even a chat box, whatever one is easiest. Please leave your questions in there. I will answer them, or one of the girls will answer them for you tonight. But I do want to talk a little bit about the admissions season, so to speak. So right now we're kind of in the middle of it. For those of you who haven't submitted an application yet, you do want to do that as soon as possible. The application is open until the springtime, but to get all priority information and acceptance letters and notification of financial aid or scholarship results, you do want to do that as soon as possible. So you can do that right on the Carroll website. It's the school admin portal is what you'll be using to create the application. It's very interactive for families. You actually will be able to upload your child's 7th grade grades and 6th grade standardized testing scores, and then 8th grade grades when they are available from the first quarter or first trimester, right your way yourself. So you don't need to contact the school if you have copies of those records. If you do need to contact your school to get those, that's totally fine. If they would rather send them to me at Carroll, that's fine as well. We are trying to move towards, like I said, this interactive portal, but we do understand that some schools still would rather send them school to school, so that's totally fine. We just ask that they are sent electronically. The other piece of the application that I always stress doing is filling out the legacy information section. So if you have a family member that has come to Carroll or is currently at Carroll, as well as the interest section as well. Like these girls, and even JT before he had to jump to go to work, they were talking about all the activities and the clubs and the sports that they're a part of. And our coaches actually get notified of any student athlete that is interested in their sport, and even some of our club moderators, like our band director, our theater director, and our choir director. And they'll start to reach out to you soon, so that you can start to, make those lines of communication open. So I always stress how important it is to fill out the interest section of the application. The financial aid application is also opened at this time. That is opened until December 31st for priority award letters. And then it does reopen in January so that you can complete it if you're not ready to do it in December. That's not a problem. But to get priority information about financial aid, you do want to complete the financial aid application by December 31st. And again, that is right on the admissions page of the Carroll website. Also, you'll see some branded grants, I call them. They're really just, grants that we give out to honor certain things that aren't necessarily merit scholarship related. We have a Salute to Service grant for any family who has a mom, dad, or brother, sister in the military. That's a cop, a firefighter, EMS, nurse. So that's our Salute to Service grant. We also have a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout grant as well, if you as the applicant and as an 8th grader are a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout. And we also have what I call the Catholic Identity Grant, and that's for students who are very sound in their faith, want to be a part of our campus ministry program, our community service corps, and that also does have to do a little bit with academics, but more so what you're involved in, youth group wise or community wise for service or anything along those lines. So check those out as well. If you've taken or if you are taking the merit scholarship test, this merit scholarship scores will be released after the final test day. So that day is next Thursday. So on Friday, since it is a virtual test, I do get the scores back pretty quickly these days. So on Friday, all of the results will be uploaded to each child's individual school admin portal. And then any student that does qualify for a merit scholarship will be notified the following week with a letter. Speaking of the test, though, we do, like I said, have one more that is, coming up on November 5th, next Thursday, and we do have time to register for the test still if you'd like to take it. The registration closes at midnight on Monday, but you don't have to take the merit scholarship test. And I know that's kind of a myth that is out there, that you have to take the test in order to be accepted to Carroll. That is not true. The merit scholarship test is specifically only to see if your child does qualify for a merit scholarship. The biggest advice that I'll give you as a family, going through the admissions process is to get on the website and look through the Carroll admissions pages. There's a lot of information on there. There's our virtual experience tour that is posted. So you actually will get to hear from different people that are very important to the day in the life of Carroll students and what they do in their different offices. Sophia, like she said, she did a virtual shadow day that we're finalizing and clipping, so it's not her whole school day, but something fun and interactive for you guys at home to watch, since shadow visits have been postponed until the second semester by the Archdiocese. So as soon as that is ready, it will be posted as well. There is a form on our website that you can fill out to let us know you are interested in receiving that when it is available. The last thing that we have is a red and white walkthrough tour day. We had our first one on October 17th. It was very successful. So I have been given the approval to have a second day. I can only make it a half day, so there's not gonna be as many opportunities to get out on the tour as there was on the first, but the Office of Catholic Education actually just this afternoon approved us to have another walkthrough morning. So it's essentially for those families who have never been to campus, have never seen the school, and do want to see it prior to either applying or enrolling or even just being accepted, taking the test, anything. So more information about that will be posted tomorrow and will be sent out tomorrow. So please keep an eye out for that as well. It unfortunately is not a full open house. We can't do that just with, the protocol that we have to follow through the Archdiocese COVID guidelines. But it is a chance for families to be able to walk through the school and just see, what classrooms look like, what our, gyms look like with the hallways, or our guidance office, different parts of, the day at Carroll that students, do experience. So I will talk a little bit about academics at Carroll, and then again, I will open it up to any questions. You can actually drop the questions at any time as I'm going on, in the Q&A or the chat sections if you hover over the bottom of your screen. That's why, the girls are here to answer any questions student to student. But academically, Carroll offers 13 AP classes as well as regular grade level classes and advanced honors classes as well. The way students are placed into classes, as they are coming in as freshmen, would be based on what they've taken in 8th grade. We offer placement tests in the springtime for students who are planning to enroll or who are enrolled at that time to come in as 9th graders in math and in our foreign languages. So if you have been taking math at a pretty advanced level through grade school, you have the opportunity to continue to do that. As well as if you are, pretty good in a foreign language, French or Spanish specifically, you can actually test out of Spanish 1 or test into an honors class as well. The science portion of, class placement goes along with math usually. Sometimes there is a difference. So don't feel as though if your child does test into an advanced math class that they absolutely have to take an advanced science class. Carroll does not track students. We place students into classes that they are either 1, challenged in because they want to be, or 2, they are comfortable, in that specific level of class. So again, we do not track students at Carroll. The other point that I do want to mention, besides the countless electives that we have in all different core subjects, as well as some fun stuff like our art department, ceramics, photography, 3D printing, and everything like that, is the Project Lead the Way course progression. So that is something that a student does need to test into. That is going back to that math placement test. They do need to score a specific score to be able to be considered for Project Lead the Way, but it is an engineering and science-based curriculum that actually helps students gain a certificate in pre-engineering before graduating, or as they graduate from high school, to take with them if it's something you're interested in for college and for the future. We at Carroll are the only school in the Archdiocese to have this course progression. So it's 4 classes when it's all said and done, 1 each year. And we actually are only one of a very few amount of schools in our area, at least our immediate area, that do offer this as well. It's only right now our 2nd cohort. So our sophomore class was the first class that this was offered to. The freshman class are within, the cohorts. And then obviously as we continue to go forward, we will keep building, more and more each grade that comes in. So it's pretty cool. The classes that they have accredited in now are pre-engineering and then intro to engineering principles. So those are the 2 classes. And then the next class that we will get will be for the junior level and then the senior level. So you get the accreditation as the cohorts go along. The most information that you will find on that is right again on our website in the academic catalog. And that's on the academics page of the Carroll website. So I do encourage everyone to, who seems that they might be interested in that, to go on, and you can actually read what the students do in those classes. More information about that will come from our Office of Academics in the springtime for students who do register. So you just get a preview real quick now, and if it's something that your child is very interested in, then you can actually start talking to our assistant principal for academics upon enrolling at Carroll about that program. So with that being said, if there's nothing that I covered or if there's something that I didn't cover academically for any family that is, on the call tonight that has a specific question, please drop it in the chat. I do want these girls to talk a little bit more about the activities that they're a part of. I mean, they did mention them. Sophia went into some great detail about Archbishop Carroll Theater Society, and so did Cece with our, our fall festival this year with COVID protocols. But there are some other great things too. I know JT had mentioned Patriothon before he jumped off. So if I know you've gone, and Cece, you've gone too. So one of you, why don't you talk a little bit about Patriothon for our families tonight?
Okay, I can talk a little bit about it. So Patriothon is a 12-hour dance marathon. It's actually based on the Penn State one, which I believe is 48 hours.
Yep.
And so the whole point of it is that a group of people, and you stay from 7, usually it's 7 at night to 7 in the morning, overnight, and you just stay up the whole night standing, and it's to support to raise money for a bunch of different charities. So we use it for CHOP, Child Life at CHOP, and we usually have some speakers to help connect the students to what they're actually supporting. And we also use the money to Catholic Relief Services. Yeah. And then and so I think a few years ago we raised more than $50,000. So we spend all year trying to do certain events such as Halloween, Halloween-a-thon, which is when they screen a movie and all the proceeds go back to Thon. And then you have some dinner nights, so at Chipotle and Panera, there's fundraisers there, and then all that money just transfers over to the big event, and that's when everyone usually comes. Everyone has a matching T-shirts, and it's just a fun night, full of different events such as dodgeball, rave hour, and at the end of the night they reveal how much money we raised.
Awesome. So if anything you want to add?
I went like every year since freshman year, and I have a really great time. And again, to like go off of what Cece said, they have families come in from like families who have children who are at CHOP, and you really like get to hear their story and realize like what you're doing it all for, and it just makes it like so much better, like knowing like why you're doing it and why you're raising the money, and like how like it is going to affect them, and it is going to like change their lives, which I think is really, really nice. I don't know, I just have a great time every year. It's a great experience. I would definitely recommend.
Well, hopefully you guys get to do it in some way, shape, and form this year too. But that is one of my favorite things too. And I would say this is, my third year at Carroll, and I came from working at, 2 other private schools, along my journey of, working after college. And the first time that I witnessed that there was something definitely really special about Carroll and the community and the students was when I was working the check-in table at Thon 2 years ago now. And I witnessed our students just being friends with each other, whether they were a girl or a boy or a freshman or a senior or sophomore, and not worrying about anything but just being friends with that other student or those other students, and really coming together and putting something so awesome together for other people. And there were so many students that attended. It's not just a small thing. So for me, that really hit home as to how different of a place Carroll really is and what we're all about. So I always like to tell that story when I am talking to families about coming to school. The other club that I do want to mention, and then I'll talk and I'll actually let the girls talk a little bit too about sports, but is Best Buddies. We are one of the only schools again in the area to have a Best Buddies chapter, and that club is actually a Carroll-based club, but it incorporates our St. Catherine's Day School students in that as well. And the St. Catherine's Day School is a Catholic high school for students with special needs. And they actually have a part of our building in which they, come to go to school. So it's really a school within our school. They are very much a part of our, daily life at Carroll. They come to our school masses. The, kids have fundraisers with them. The club allows, a Carroll student to really just hang out with and be friends with a student of special needs and really get to learn about them and help them with different things. I know you guys have both been a part of Best Buddies as well. So Soph, why don't you start out, and then Cece, if you have anything to add, go for it.
Okay, so being a part of Best Buddies, there's like 2 options. So you could just be a part of like the club in general and go to like the events that they have. They have their like Halloween events. They did trunk or treat last year. They do their own little thing for homecoming. They have like their homecoming, king and queen, different events throughout the school year. You can also, I think it's called a peer buddy. And you can be a peer buddy with one of the St. Catherine's Day School kids, where you get to match up with them and then do things on your own outside of school, and like take little trips and like hang out with them outside of school, which is really great for like you, but it's also really great for them too, just to know that they have someone, and they're just so friendly. You see them in the hallway and they'll say hi to you every single time. They're definitely a huge part of our Carroll community. They go to like our school masses and everything, so they're really a huge part of Carroll, and they really do make Carroll like what it is, and that community, that family and that welcome, like that welcomeness that you feel like when you're at Carroll. So yeah.
Cece, anything to add?
Yeah, so this isn't exactly like the club, but during the spring we usually have a week called Best Buddies Week, and it's really an opportunity for the whole school to kind of experience all the St. Catherine's kids and be able to like talk to them, and a much more easier way to get involved with buddies than just being in the club.
Yeah, that's a great point too. I love that week. It's so fun, and we really get to honor them and like the school in general, because the school has been around for a really long time and has changed a lot of, students' lives. When they graduate, they have work trades, and they have education levels that really help them to be, independent and successful as well. In regards to our sports,
Wait, I have one more thing.
sorry, go for it.
So
Yeah.
another big thing is our bocce team.
There you go. I was gonna get into it.
I
but
know.
go
I
for it,
almost
though.
forgot. So we have a unified bocce team with the Carroll students and the St. Catherine's Day School students. And they have their own little like bocce games. It's actually like a league, I believe. They went all the way to like Hershey. I think it was 2 years ago.
State championship.
Yeah, the championship. I think this is our 3rd year, I believe, doing it, and it is a growing program. Like a lot more students are joining it, and that's also a great way to like get involved with St. Catherine's and like be a whole community. So I thought that was really cool.
And a student athlete. It actually is a varsity sport for our Carroll students. Yeah. So that brings me perfectly into, talking about our sports teams. This year it is a little bit different, just because of, the coronavirus. Our rosters do, need to be limited to only varsity teams, but usually in any other given year, there are JV and even freshman teams as well across all of our sports teams, fall, winter, and spring. Our biggest sports for girls, I would say, would be basketball, lacrosse, and field hockey. Girls soccer, CC plays. I coach, I'm an assistant coach for the girls volleyball team. So, the manager for the softball team. So, I can't really say that there's one or two major sports. We really do have such awesome student athletes. For the boys, same thing, football, basketball, lacrosse, baseball. Our baseball, diamond was donated to the school, or funded, I should say, by the Cabrini University baseball team. They actually do practice on the team or on the field as well. So it's actually very state of the art and very, very, very nice. Along with our soccer field that CC gets to play on. It's a state of the art, self-watering field. It's really, very cool. So sports at Carroll is a pretty big thing. We are part of the PCL, which is the Philadelphia Catholic League. It's one of the most competitive leagues in the area, and we are PIAA affiliated, which means we are part of the state athletic conference as well. Countless PCL championship plaques, some state championship plaques in there as well. So playing sports at Carroll is a pretty big deal. Like I said, there are JV teams, even freshman teams for, how many kids we can field or, put on a court. And then obviously the varsity team. We send kids to college every year to play college sports, whether it's a Division I level, 2, or 3. So our coaches, our athletic staff are very, very connected to, different colleges, different club programs, and really do push the students both on and off the field to be the most successful and be the best that, they possibly can. The other thing that I, do want to mention is obviously Carroll is a Catholic school. First and foremost, we are part of the Philadelphia Archdiocese. Our faith life is really what, drives us to be, I think, the community that our kids, have talked about and that they experience. The thing that I do like to point out, and if our campus minister, Father Mark, was on the call tonight, he would tell you the same thing. It's not pushed on you. It's something that our kids want to do, whether they're Catholic or not, in regards to our community service or, just our community aspect. But we also meet you where you are. So if faith isn't a really big deal for you as a family or for your child, that's okay. They don't need to feel as though they have to do, every faith-related thing at Carroll. But we incorporate more than just religion into our faith life, which I think is a really awesome thing. And if you are a student that is really grounded and driven in your faith, there's a lot, obviously, for you to do, with that as well. But anything you guys want to add? I know the lunchtime prayer services and retreats, but Soph, go ahead.
Yeah, so there are lunchtime prayer services, which I'll talk about, but we also offer 7:10 mass, and I believe there's 2:25 or like 2:30 mass now too. I think it alternates, which is really nice. So if your bus drops you off early at school, or maybe you want to stay a little bit after school, you could celebrate mass with Father Cavera. But another huge part is our lunchtime prayer services, which take up probably 10 minutes at the beginning of each lunch period. Now with our new schedules, we have 10 minutes to change in between classes, so you're not even missing that much class. But the lunchtime prayer services are totally optional, and they're student run. So a student can read something, they can say a reading. Usually we play a song on the speaker, and then everyone just kind of sits in the chapel, which is in the middle of our school. It's a really nice, peaceful place to just take time out of your day and just focus on whatever you need to focus. Just get away from all the distraction that's going on, and just say a prayer, just meditate, a little breaking your day. I always love going in there in the middle of my day. And then we also have different retreats. So every grade has their own retreat. The freshman retreat is usually at the school, and then the sophomore Cece can tell you about that. And then, so the sophomore and junior retreat are overnight retreats. And then the big retreat is Kairos for the seniors. And that's a bonding experience for them, and a chance for them to become closer as a grade. So Cece will go into all of that.
Okay, so I can go into both sophomore retreat and Kairos. So we just started the sophomore retreat last year. And it is an overnight retreat, and so they go to Malvern Retreat House and then separate into groups. And so the goal of those retreats, both the sophomore and Kairos, is to not only strengthen the people's relationship with each other, but also their relationship with God, and it gives them an experience to kind of understand each other and grow. And then, so Kairos is the big senior one, and it's a similar look to the sophomore retreat but it's been a staple for so many years. We've had
101
102 Kairoses. January will be 102, and so it's a pretty big deal. And a lot of the seniors who go on it have always said it's a great experience, and it's one of the things that makes Carroll unique, because not a lot of schools can have it anymore because just so many kids just aren't interested. But Carroll has been consistently interested in it, and always there's always at least 40 people per retreat. So it's a pretty big deal. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Any families have any questions? I know we gave a lot of information tonight. Again, this will be recorded, is being recorded, and will be posted on the website later this week if you jumped on late, or if you just need a refresher on something that was said. Please don't hesitate to rewatch it. The biggest thing that I, really want families to take away tonight is just the spirit of Carroll that these girls were talking about, and how it really makes a home away from home for any student that walks through the doors. And then on a more, technical and logistical level with the admission season, please make sure that, you are submitting applications, final grades from 7th grade, 8th grade, first quarter, first trimester grades. When you get them, you register for the last scholarship test if your child's interested in seeing if they get a merit scholarship. Researching our branded grants, as well as completing the financial aid application if you're interested. And always, please, the biggest thing that I ask every family is, when you see an email come from me, please read it. I know some of them are kind of long, but there's a lot of information in there that is very relevant and needed for you guys to continue through the admission season and into enrollment season, and eventually become an awesome Carroll family. So if there are no specific questions tonight, or if you have a question and you'd rather ask me privately, that's completely fine as well. You can send me an email or even give me a call. This is my job. I'm here to help you find that Carroll is the right fit for your child. And if we're not, that's okay too. I really do wish all of the 8th graders out there success in choosing, their high school, because it will make a big difference, in your life going forward. And like Cece said, it's going to help you to develop into the person that you're going to continue to be, going forward in life. So without any, specific questions, I can end the session tonight and just thank you again for coming and listening to us. We do hope to see you in person soon, whether it is on our red and white morning, or we will hopefully be able to open up the doors to shadows, and if not, more individual tours in the second semester. But we appreciate you guys coming tonight and listening, and thank you so much, and have a great week. Thanks, girls, too. You did a fantastic job as always, and I will see you guys when I see you. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night.